What is going on, YouTube people? New York Cards and Comics here with a little news. Was going to post this up last night. Figured I'd just wait for today. This has been rumbling throughout the day a little bit. I had heard some whispers, but I could not confirm it on my own. But Darren Ravel tweeted out Wednesday afternoon. Jeromy, president of Beckett, has been let go. In addition, Andrew Meadow was let go. He was a recent acquisition. I believe they had purchased their version of Gemament, or like a card scanning to aid grading company about a year or so ago, and I believe he came over in that acquisition. He was part of this as well. Murray's the bigger news here, as he's been with the company for absolutely ever. I think Ravel says 18 plus years, and he's kind of been at the head of the ship for the last few years during let's be honest, and probably the reason why he let go, their dark times. Beckett was right up there with PSA. At one point in time, they were in front of PSA. Things got a little bit closer, and then the pandemic hit, and Beckett kind of did nothing to leave it charitable. Then more recently, they had the whole, is this the new label? Is it not a new label thing that went up at the National in Atlantic City, and all the drama that went around that. And then most notably, the whole grading scale change, which was put out, changed again, pulled back. We don't still really know what's going on. It sounds like they're not doing anything. It's just going to be status quo in regards to the grading change for a while. But they have not officially come out and said that, which I personally think is crazy. I know a lot of people, and I actually get this question a lot of, hey, what is going on with the Beckett grading scale change? Is it still something that's coming? Everything I have been led to believe is that it's completely on hold, but they have not officially said that. And I don't know that they're going to officially say that. Personally, I think that's a mistake. If that's the path that you're taking, you should have got out there at the National and said, hey, it doesn't have to be a video. It could just be a statement on an IG post or a quick IG reel. Hey, we took your feedback. We heard you. For the time being, we have decided to stick with the current grading scale. No changes expected in the short, medium, long term, whatever verbiage you want to put on it. Leave yourself an out that maybe you want to change it in the future, but nothing's happening anytime soon. They have chose not to do that at this point. Beckett has basically been a calamity of errors for a while now, unfortunately. Still got a decent amount of cards through the door. I really think the problem is they don't know what they want to be. The old school, there seems to be like an old school mentality there of let's just not change anything. Let's just kind of go with the status quo, and we're cool with that. And they don't maybe want a lot of growth. It's hard to tell. They don't act like they want a lot of growth, or they're just perfectly content with the business that they're getting and the profit and money that they're making, versus aggressively going after new business, new innovation, that sort of stuff. They've obviously made some purchases and moves, and it seems like they've tried to do stuff, but then at the same time, it seems like the reins get pulled in a little bit on them. They just seem like a company they're just kind of listless. They don't really know what they want to be, or they're trying to be two things at once and can't decide which path they want to go down. So hopefully this change up, we don't know who the replacement's going to be yet. I haven't seen anything on it, at least as of time of recording. I'm recording this early evening on Wednesday, on who the replacement is going to be. Obviously, Kevin Isaacson came over was that 6 months ago, I think, to replace Kunal as CEO. So we'll see who ends up sliding in as the president over Beckett itself. And then what do they do from there? Like I said, they are still kind of caught in the crossroads, if you will, of what direction that they want to go. Are they waiting for someone to come up and buy them? Or are they perfectly happy sitting where they're sitting? And maybe that is the case. Not every company can be number one or wants to even be number one. They may have a very nice little niche for themselves carved out as like the second to third grading company, probably the third behind SGC at the moment in terms of volume and numbers and reputation. And they might be completely happy with that. The numbers and cards that they have coming in versus going out, and their profit margins and their general business. they might look and run everything down on a whiteboard and say, hey, cool, we're good. And maybe upper management and whoever the money ends up flowing to is also perfectly fine with that. Hey, we don't want to spend a bunch of money on this. You guys are profitable. Keep doing your thing over there. We're going to handcuff you a little bit, not let you get out and run. Just go ahead and jog along there. Do your thing. Slow and steady, boring. Don't adapt. Just, carry on. And we're content with that because you're in the green and we're making money out of you. So we're fine. Versus, dumping money into it, being aggressive, going after a bunch of different innovation, trying to clean things up. I mean, like I said, they did go after some stuff. It just felt like the money was going to the wrong places. Like, clean up your back-end customer service, clean up your submission process, which they kind of worked on some of this stuff. Your transparency on kind of where cards are at, turnaround times, capacity, all that sort of stuff is the stuff that they should have been focusing on, customer service being the biggest one. And they kind of went all these other different directions. So we'll see who the new leader of Beckett ends up being and see kind of what their vision is. I don't know anything about Kevin Isaacson, who they brought on to replace Kunal, other than that he does seem to be more of the old school vein, which I guess this is where this is kind of surprising because Murray kind of fell into that old school basket, but has also been the direct leader of Beckett grading itself over the last few years during kind of these not so great times. Metal is newer and part of the new school crew. So, not super surprised, I guess, to see him potentially, or not potentially, then part ways with him. I'm not sure how actively he was involved or not. I'm not familiar with him, and I didn't really know Murray at all either. So that's the news. We'll see what happens from here. Future of Beckett looking murky as always, or at least as in the recent years. We'll see who they bring in and see what sort of direction they can take the company, or if they even still exist. Maybe, like I said, maybe they're just kind of hoping for a Fanatics check to come in the mail and be like, cool, we're out. Welcome to Fanatics grading. Who knows? That's pure speculation on my part. But to me, it feels like they would be the logical buyout target. PSA is a massive company. CGC, massive company. SGC, smaller company, but not a distressed asset. Beckett, on paper, looks like a distressed asset. And say what you will about Fanatics, they typically like to chase distressed assets. In my opinion, Beckett falls into that category. Hopefully the new leadership, whoever they end up bringing in, can rise them back to at least some of their former glory. I don't think they'll ever be close to PSA anytime soon, but it would be nice to have Beckett as a solid competitor for a number 2 slot, giving SGC and CGC a run for their money. Ultimately, the more good and competent grading companies that we have, the better it is for all of us as collectors, investors, flippers, whatever you want to label yourself as. One, it helps keep pressure on the other companies to not get lazy, and it gives us options for who we want to use. Different people are going to like different things, and different cards have different homes. There's the right tool for the job, as we always talk about when it comes to grading companies. So that is all I have for you, boys and girls. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.